Yo, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. And today I'm going to be covering crit value. So if you're ever watching your favorite streamer or whatever, your favorite YouTuber, Genshin YouTuber, whatever it may be, you do kind of, most likely if they're doing account reviews or artifact reviews, or talking about artifacts in any way, they do use this term crit value, and they actually say it a lot. So in this video today, I'm actually going to be explaining what that actually is and how to calculate it. Now this is a video kind of more of players that are either beginners for this is a video really for anyone, but mostly kind of the players that are like AR 45 plus and they're about to, or they're maybe AR 50. I would say really AR 50 to 55, where you're basically maxing out your artifacts, or you're getting artifacts and you want to understand how to min-max them pretty much. But this is also good for people who are beginners as well, because then you'll understand what the term crit value is, and you actually be able to basically know what it is that they're actually talking about. Anyways, let's just get right into the video. Sorry for the long intro. Alright, so pretty much the way this is going to be broken down, or the way I can break this down as best possible, is every artifact has a possible crit value of 55 or 54.5, I think, as the max crit value that can actually get. The way to actually calculate this is it's going to be crit rate times 2 added to your crit damage. So a piece like this would have somewhere around 14 crit value, which isn't really that good. It's mediocre, where if you compare it to this goblet, which has about 30 plus crit value, I think closer to 40. Yeah, about almost 40 exactly, somewhere that a little bit above 40, which this goblet is pretty decent, actually very good. If you guys want to know more about that chart, you can actually look up crit value on Google or whatever, and somebody actually made their chart themselves, where they basically determined, or they split up 0 to 60, and there's different segments, and every interval of 10 increases whether or not, where 0 to 10 being the lowest value, where 0 to and then close to 60, that's the highest value that you can get. However, you can actually get 60 crit value in this game. I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's capped out at 54.5, I believe. But if you get close, the closer you can get to that number, the better. So essentially, if you have a crit value piece of 30, that's actually considered a decent piece, whereas a 40 crit value piece and above, that's actually considered a very good piece. If you're somehow able to get a 50 crit value piece, that is almost a god roll, and if you somehow get like a 60, that doesn't exist, but regardless, that's essentially how it works. So I'm gonna again explain it again. So pretty much crit value is the equation, or mathematical equation, kind of, where it is your crit rate times 2 added to your crit damage. This is only based on substats for your every other piece except your circlet. Circlet is calculated in a different way. Now, if I were to explain how this is, I'm not entirely sure myself, but essentially, pretty much the basic things you need to know is the main stat really doesn't matter for circlets. If it's like crit rate, crit damage, that's not taken into account. It's actually just these substats. So for example, your crit rate substat or your crit damage substat, whichever circlet you have, that's what you're going to really be looking for. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Just get as high as a crit rate or crit damage stat as you can get, depending on what piece, or depending on what circlet you're using. For crit damage, I personally would say if you can get anything above 10% crit rate, that's actually a pretty solid piece. Very, very good. What I would say is god roll is somewhere around 15, I guess, but honestly, I'm not really entirely sure myself, so I just say anything above 10% is very, very good for a circlet, especially a crit damage one, because you're getting that extra 10% crit rate as well as all that extra crit damage. Now for a crit rate circlet, your crit damage substat, you're pretty much going to want to look for something that's above 15. Anything above 15 is actually pretty decent, and obviously the higher crit damage roll you can get, the better the piece. If somehow some way you're able to roll a 30 crit damage on it, which it is possible, I mean, that's insane. That'll be a solid crit rate piece, very hard to replace. But for pretty much anyone else, I would just say look for something above 15. But don't just take my word on it. If you want to do the research yourself on circlets, go ahead, go for it. I'm not entirely sure myself on circlets and how those actually work, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for basically what crit value is and how to calculate it. Another thing you guys should know is just the fact that every substat piece has a low roll and a high roll, as well as in between rolls as well. So somehow you could get a crit damage piece, or say you could get an artifact like this. 22.5 isn't the highest you can actually get. It can get even higher if you're able to get a max crit damage roll, which that is being 7.8. Or a max crit, if you want a higher crit rate, that would be, I think it's 2.4, but I could be wrong, or 3.4. It's either or. Again, other people have dropped videos on those, basically the highest rolls or whatever. So if you want to know more about that, just Google that yourself, look it up yourself, and you should find more information, because I don't want to misinform you guys and tell you the wrong thing. But yeah, obviously, pretty much the way this, so the general rule of thumb that you want to keep here is when it comes to crit value, now that you know what it is, just look for anything above 30, pretty much. If you can get something close to 30, that's a decent piece, keep it. But then once you get all artifacts that are about 30 crit value, you want to look for those things that are higher than that, because those are going to be even better. And that's just pretty much going to be it for this video. Is pretty much just a video of me talking, because there's not really much else to showcase or really say or talk about. Like, I can't showcase crit value or anything. I can just simply explain what it actually is and how to calculate it. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new and I helped you guys out. And if I did and you made it to the end of the video, thank you. And maybe consider liking the video and subscribing. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.